Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. Today then I've took the old diesel eater out and put my new max speeding rods one in, which is working great. Last winter then my diesel eater packed up. It was a Chinese one, so my friend very kindly lent me hers, and just after I paid her for it, it started to white smoke, which is about right, isn't it? Anyway, I'm just gonna, the brand is Triclicks. Okay, it's made in China, as you know most things are. The reason I'm giving you the name of that is because I'm really impressed with the gaskets that you get with these ones. These are proper manifold type gasket material, not like that green stuff, which is really an inlet manifold gasket, and in my opinion can't really take the heat. I mean, it obviously does take the heat because they do last, but them ones, in my opinion, for over the years, are the better ones, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Anyway, getting on then. So what happens with your diesel eater? So initially then, when you start it up, the fan will start on the front and it will start to suck air in from the front, and also the inlet at the bottom of the diesel eater, which is outside the vehicle. I've already took mine out of the case for speed purposes for the video. I've also took all the bolts out on disassembly for the same reasons. You'll find out why shortly. So bringing that back down here then, what happens then is the fan will start up and air's drawn through the front of the fan there, and then centrifugally pushed out the side of the fan, which then inside the case is forced down the side of the heat exchange, and then eventually comes out the back there, all nice and warm, and you know, and that's that. So like I say, this front fan starts to spin anti-clockwise, and then air's drawn through the inlet at the bottom of the heater, because on the back of the front fan is another fan which is drawing the air up the inlet. Okay, so it draws the air up there, and then it's forced into the actual combustion part of it. This is where it starts to get interesting, because this is where I believe the problem with the white smoke comes from. It is a bit difficult doing this one-handed, so bear with me. So what we get then is where the glow plug goes, which is just inside there. We have a little gauze, which I'm sure you all know, that sits inside there, and then with the glow plug sitting inside the gauze like so, the glow plug lights up, so the fan starts to pull air in, it starts to swirl around, because we need to get the fire triangle, don't we? So we need heat, we need oxygen, and we need fuel. Okay, the gauze and the glow plug produce the heat. Okay, so that's one side of the triangle accomplished. This pipe at the bottom there is drawing the diesel. When the pump starts, it starts off quite slow and starts dripping onto the gauze, giving us the fuel. So we've got two sides of the triangle there. All we need now is the air, or the oxygen. Okay, and this is where the back end of that fan spinning round through the inlet, it's going round anti-clockwise round there. I know it goes anti-clockwise because of the pattern of the swirl on the intake of that swirl, and then that's where we get combustion on the inside of the heater inside there. But first we need ignition in the pre-ignition part of the heater. So the air's spinning round anti-clockwise, picking up into the swirl, but also on the side here, tucked away, that I didn't know about, but I do now. I've took it to bits. If I can just get that rubber out of the way, you can see, where's my pokery, just there, you can see in where the glow plug goes, there's a hole at the side there, look, just poking through. So when the air's swirling round anti-clockwise in there, if it went through the front of the swirl, it's got to come through the engine compartment, round the side and all up there. So it's not, you know, it's common sense does not dictate that's happening. So the air's being fed through that little side hole there. Now a lot of people have said, and I've seen it online on YouTube, that if you keep your heater on low, it starts to coke up. Well, I've run this heater, like I say, all last winter on low. I never had it on high once, and it is clean, isn't it? I mean, I'm handling this, I've not cleaned it, I've just took it to bits. Even inside the combustion part of it, it's relatively clean, considering it's been going for, like I say, at least, what, 4 months? Okay, so I don't believe that having it on low cokes it up, but what I do believe is that hole on the side of the pre-combustion there gets clogged up like mine did. I didn't notice until I took it to bits, but that little hole there was full of if you've got a diesel engine and you've heard of something called Black Death, it was that kind of material. It was cokey, kind of unburnt diesel, well, it was solidified oil, like an air bubble that had sealed shut. So I recommend that if your diesel heater is white smoking, first things first is obviously check that the glow plug is working. You can do that just by unscrewing it, plugging it back in, and then turning the heater on and making sure that it does glow up. I wouldn't recommend trying to touch it because they do get hot very quickly. You could also make sure that your gauze inside there is in, you know, reasonable condition, which that looks like it is, look. And then finally, that your pre-ignition oxygen hole is clear of muck and all cokey stuff, and I'm sure that you'll be fine, because everything else is, you know, there's only one other thing on there, and that's the actual case temperature sensor that goes back to the wiring doof, and also the power to the front fan. So that's it. That's all you get. Power to fan, a sensor for the case heat, a glow plug for ignition. And if you get the triangle, then you get the fourth element, which is a continuous, you know, heat source, or in our case, we get 5 kilowatts of heat power out of this unit. Okay, so I hope that clears things up. Other things that can also give you white smoke, by the way, is if you have got your heater together like so, and your pipes are different lengths. If your inlet pipe, say for instance, is longer than your outlet pipe, it's going to take more to suck that air that far down in there, creating different pressure. The heater may think that you're at a higher altitude with thinner air, so it may increase the fan speed or reduce it, you know, depending on what it picks up and decides what to do. So there are things to look out for then. By the way, you don't have to dismantle the heater like I have. You can just take your glow plug out, put your thing in there, and just make sure that your hole's clear there. Obviously making sure you don't push it down and damage the gauze, okay, which covers the fuel inlet. So you won't damage the fuel inlet, but you may damage the gauze if you're not careful. So, but you know, if you're not sure, or if it's in an awkward position in your van, or you know, it is an easy fix. If you're saying to somebody, you know, could you just remove my glow plug, there's a little hole, make sure the hole's, it's common sense, isn't it? If you're capable, do it. If you're not, be honest and get somebody to do it for you. Okay, I hope that helps. I'll see you next time.